We had your colleague, our colleague from The Athletic, Dane Brugler, on yesterday. He called this the Caleb Williams draft. Would you agree with that, Trevor?
Yeah, I think that it has to be, right? I mean, he was expected to be the number one overall pick going into the season. He had, to Caleb Williams standards, a down year, and yet wire to wire, he has just been the number one overall pick. No matter who has held the number one overall pick, he has always been the selection there. Even when at the beginning of the season, we thought, hey, maybe the Cardinals will pick back to back with number one and number two. We didn't know how great CJ Stroud was going to be at the time. And even with that being the case, we said, okay, well, Arizona's either drafting him or they're trading somebody to draft him at number one. So it's the Caleb Williams draft. He has been the identity of this thing the whole time, and it's not going to change when the draft kicks off on Thursday night.
All right, so then the decision at number two, at your estimation, break that one down for me here for the Commanders. What do you think?
So it feels like we're leaning Jaden Daniels to be the pick at number two, which is understandable, right? You look at Jaden Daniels and his dual threat ability, everything that he could do as a runner, talk about the spread offense that he operated in under LSU, how he was so great at taking care of the football last year, the stats that he put up this year, obviously a Heisman Trophy to show for it. And you get Cliff Kingsbury to be your offensive coordinator who knows all about spreading the ball all the way to the sideline. And so that makes a lot of sense. If I was making the pick, I'd be taking Drake Maye. He has been my QB2 for a while now, firmly, I will add. I think that Caleb Williams is QB1. I think Drake Maye is QB2. And then you have a little bit of a discussion, okay, who's QB3? Jaden Daniels, J.J. McCarthy. I think you can get into some of the nuances there with the different styles that those guys have. But, man, it feels as though Drake Maye's getting nitpicked right now. That's how it feels to me, because when I look at this guy and the arm talent that he has, sure, it's not picture perfect every time. There are some throws that are some frustrating, that'll give you some frustrating accuracy, some frustrating ball placement. But to me, it's all stuff that I feel like it's correctable. And I just look at what this guy does from a arm talent perspective, especially when it comes to layering the ball, not just in the sideline, which we see a lot of college quarterbacks do, over the middle of the field, 10 to 20 yards down the middle of the field, that intermediate area between the numbers. That's where Drake Maye has so much experience. He had the most big-time throws in college football of any of these quarterbacks that we're talking about in that area, and it's so paramount to succeed there when you're an NFL quarterback. So for me, the debate at number two overall, again, if I was making the pick, I'd be taking Drake Maye, but it feels like the NFL and the Commanders themselves are leaning Jaden Daniels at this point.
Why do you feel that way?
It just feels like everything that we're hearing, man. It just feels like the total momentum is there for Jaden Daniels to be that guy who has kind of ascended throughout this entire process. We wondered, okay, is he a back end of the first round pick now? Okay, now is he a top 10 pick? Be QB3. And now we're having conversations about, hey, his pairing with Cliff Kingsbury might be something that the Commanders themselves, just don't want to pass on. And it feels like it's the opposite with Drake Maye. And look, it's talking season, right? The rumors are flying. We're hearing things that might be true, might be not. The shades of the Will Levis news and everything that was coming down to the NFL draft last year with him potentially going number two overall, and then he doesn't even get picked until the second round. I get all that, but feels like this has been a little bit slower building, a little bit more tangible. The Jaden Daniels stock has been rising, and Drake Maye has been falling, as we have heard maybe what teams in the NFL believe about these quarterbacks.
Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.